What's going on, guys? It's your boy Papa React. Welcome to day 3 of the 5-day Metaverse React.JS challenge. Let me know where you're watching from right now. I'm hyped up today. We got a lot of fun stuff coming for you all in this video. We're going to be building our first ever decentralized real-time chat. So let me know if you're excited. I am goddamn hyped. I know me and Jay have been prepping for this for a long time. We've been hyped up to show you guys. So welcome once again to one of the biggest challenges and biggest builds we have ever done on this channel. Your boy Papa React presents day 3 of the Metaverse challenge. Check it out, guys. Welcome. Be like Jimmy, get hyped up like that. Let's have a, we got Finland in the house, we got USA, LA, India, Greece, Croatia, nice, Mexico. What's up, guys? This is sick. You guys, I have so much in store for you today. It's going to be such a journey for you guys entering into the Web3 world. So get excited. We have Ivory Coast, Lebanon, Philippines, California, Senegal, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, Germany, South Africa, Nigeria. Wow, Sudan. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we are international. This is why we do what we do. Smash the thumbs up button if you're excited for this video. I'm going to go ahead, waste no time. We're going to jump straight into this because I have so much stuff that I want to go ahead and show you guys. So welcome again, day 3 of the challenge. Let's go ahead, drop the audio, and I'm going to get into this one. We're going to have a little bit of fun today, okay, guys? So welcome to day 3 of the 5-day challenge. Right, we're going to go ahead and start off by getting excited. We're going to get this energy up, right? Let's go ahead and let's type in the comments right now. I'm ready. Let's start day 3, right? Everyone's been waiting. You've been patient. We're in Dubai right now, and we're doing this, right? You know, the Papa fam does not stop for anything. We got Somalia in the house, Sudan, Kenya, Pakistan, Dubai. What's up, man? So if you haven't already reserved your spot, do it now. Right, so you need to go ahead and head over to papareact.com/metaverse challenge. And more importantly, now if you haven't even got to this point, guys, make sure you're signed up for that final day challenge. Jay, is it the first link in the description, right? First link in the description goes to our final day. That's where I dropped the biggest training I've ever dropped, where I'm going to teach you how to go ahead and level up for 2022, become a full stack Web3 developer. You can take whichever path you want. You can become a React dev, a Next.js dev. You could do front end, you could do back end with Node.js, and if you really want, you can venture off into the Web3 world and become a blockchain dev. So I'm going to go ahead and break it all down in that video. I want to see everyone there. Someone goes, do you know PHP? Hell yeah, I know PHP. I was an old school dev before back in the day. Join the official Papa Fam Discord server. That's where we go ahead and have a nice chat every now and then. I'll jump in the voice channels there. Awesome place to get help and support from the community. Make sure you join the Papa Fam Facebook group. This is where we have all our official links, announcements, everything kicks off in this group. Make sure you're there and part of the fam. And once again, I've been loving it. Make sure you pull out your phone and share and use hashtag Papa Challenge for those extra bonus points and just to be a part of this, right? It's a hell of a lot of fun to do this stuff together. It's awesome to have this experience with you all. On the final day, you're going to get 2 ebooks worth £100 combined. You already started to get free cryptocurrency from our sponsor Clouch, which is absolutely incredible, and I've got a few amazing things to go ahead and show you guys about that. And we have the ultimate developer roadmap, as I mentioned before. So we're learning all of this today, right? React, Next.js, Tailwind, Moralis, and MetaMask. Yesterday we did the login portion of the authentication, so I'll go ahead and demo this right now. Yesterday, this is what we went ahead and built on the stream. We had the login to the Metaverse. We can click it. It pops up with a signature request. We sign it, and then we're logged in. That's what we built yesterday, right? What we're actually going to be building today is this application. So again, we finished with the login flow. We go ahead and we log in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and log in right now. And then we have a beautiful chat application. Now, this chat application is powered by Moralis.io, and you can pretty much go ahead, change your username, get a custom generated dice bear avatar, and we're going to have some real-time chat application. So you can go and say hi there, and you can see it will pop up on my screen. And if you're a sender, it'll come up on the right, and if you're anyone else, it'll come up on the left. So proper amazing chat Dapp that we're building today, right? Let's go ahead and log out of this and carry on with the announcements, guys. So awesome stuff. We're gonna be learning a ton of this cool shit today. So make sure you get hyped up. And yeah, if you want to learn anything about Web3 or anything else that we do inside this community, day 5, we dropped the biggest ever offer. Make sure you're there. First link in the description, sign up. And a quick word from our challenge sponsor, Clouch, right? So many of you, I cannot explain how much this has blown up. This is literally the next Facebook, guys. Clouch has blown up with over 20,000 new users in 2-3 days. I cannot understand how this is happening, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly show you guys. We have a Papa Fam group over at Clouch, right? So you guys can see I'm on Clouch right now. And remember, if you want to get free cryptocurrency, third link in the description, go ahead, join it. Your boy's got you covered. You get free crypto for this stuff. If I go ahead and check out the Papa Fam groups, Serene Cowden, thank you, dude. $7 donation for you and Jay Coffee. You guys have been an inspiration for so many like-minded and to be like-minded people around the world. Dude, thank you, man. Serene, I always notice you. I appreciate you. I really do like that. We're gonna get a coffee after this for you, dude. You guys can see this. We had 100 members a day ago, or 2 days ago. We now have 5,000 in that group. 5,000 people are in that group. Look at this. This is popping off. If you guys want to be a part of this, go ahead and check it out right now. Third link in the description. I love the guys over at Clouch. The Papa Fam built Clouch, right? So we have literally our own team in there doing that thing. So it is absolutely slaughtering the Web3 space right now. Absolutely incredible stuff. It's a decentralized social media platform. I highly recommend you check it out. Third link in the description. Have a lot of fun, guys. Enjoy that free crypto. Who's ready to go ahead and code up this functionality? Right, we're gonna go ahead and do the chat and real-time functionality today, but it's time to focus now, okay? Time to go ahead and get into a zone. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in. I like this song. Let's go ahead and change it. I like this song. This kind of gets me a bit in a jam state, right? So we're gonna go ahead and focus today. We're gonna go over some reminders. This is a challenge, right? Do not forget these rules, right? Today we're gonna build this. This is what you're here for. We're gonna build out this chat app where you can go ahead and have two-way communication. In fact, it's actually a group chat app. So once we're up and live, I can go ahead and actually drop a link and see everyone go crazy in that chat. Today's agenda, we're going to be reviewing the best homework submissions yesterday, and then we're going to be awarding bonus points, so that way you guys can go ahead and get you deserve those points, deserve those rewards for all the hard work you've been putting in. And I'm telling you, there have been some sick builds. We have a point system here. It's a challenge. It's £12,000 worth of prizes. Casually say that. We get a point for sending messages on social media, 2 points for tagging me, 3 for helping someone else, 4 if you refer anyone to Metaverse challenge or the Clouch link, third in the description, and 5 if you finish your homework. Pratik says, Sonny, give me a shout out. There you go, dude. What's up? Lex says, getting Papa Fam paid membership was the best thing that happened to me this year. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Jay, easy, man. Prizes you can bag. prizes you can bag in this challenge. You can win a free diamond mentorship experience worth $3.5 grand plus 500 in cash, which you've never done before. Second place, 3 Papa Fam platinum memberships plus 10 winners again, 100 in cash. All right. And third place, we got 50% coupons to have your back and have you sorted. Be a part of the Facebook group to go ahead and be a part of this fun. And as I mentioned, in there you'll have the guides, which has all your homework links, all that good stuff. It's going to help you guys out, right? So somebody just literally said, someone helped me yesterday on Discord. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we do this, guys. This Discord, the Facebook, it's all about helping each other out, right? Yesterday's homework was building the login, and we had over 200 submissions. I can't get over these gifts. We had 200 submissions. Absolutely incredible stuff. So we're going to go ahead and review some of these, and if you do find yours, make some noise in that chat and tell me if you do, right? You're going to get 10 bonus points if I feature you right now. We have Daniel Slanika. I'm going to go ahead and change the song as well. We have Daniel Slanika. We have, let's go ahead. We have Kenneth Tigrado, awesome stuff, dude. Web3. We have Rico Putra. We have Khalid. I've seen Khalid in a couple of challenges. Awesome job, dude. I love that word. That's awesome, man. We have Kino Chetty. Look at that, with that VR headset going on. Alexander, dude, that just looks like a playground of fun, man. That is awesome. Well done, dude. We have a Boton, and we have Priska once again coming back. Clutch. Priska, your UI is sick. Right, it's just clean, slick, and yesterday you killed it as well. Absolutely amazing to see you here again. But I have to show you these. These are so good, these builds, right? Go ahead and check these out, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and launch these up on the screen right now. We have the first one by Putini Akos. Check this out, guys. Log into the Metaverse. Oh my goodness, this looks incredible. Let's sign in and wait for it. Oh my god, nice, dude. This has an awesome NFT in the background. Let's go ahead and log out. That's just so slick, right? We have the next submission, which was 3 Papa Fam platinum memberships plus 10 winners again, 100 in cash, which you've never done before. Second place, 3 Realtime platinum memberships plus 500 in cash. Be a part of the Facebook group to go ahead and be a part of this fun. And as I mentioned, in there you'll have the guides, which has all your homework links, all that good stuff. It's going to help you guys out. So somebody just literally said, someone helped me yesterday on Discord. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we do this, guys. Samin. So if you guys are seeing yourself right now, go ahead and make some noise. We have Samin's web app. This one was pretty dope. He actually integrated a username, email, password, and then you also have login with MetaMask. So let's go ahead and do that and check it out. So wait for it, sign. Let's go ahead and see if it logs me in. Awesome stuff. Welcome to the Metaverse. And they got a user ID. Incredible, nice build. But guys, my favorites are coming up right now. Demetrius, your build was so sick. Oh my God. I'm gonna refresh it so they can see the animation. Guys, look at this app. What? That is like, dude, I'm hiring you at this point. You need to be on the Papa Fam team at this point. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at that UI. And it says authenticate with your wallet, sign, and watch this. Watch this. Oh, clean. Awesome. I honestly, the animation was absolutely, I feel like giving you 20 points at this point. Right? That was just such a good UI. Amazing job. Really proud of you, dude. That is exactly what I wanted to see. We have Osada next. Again, let me make some noise right now. Someone goes, mine was like Kenneth. Nice stuff, dude. This one was pretty cool. We had a 3D design going on. Click log into the Metaverse. Check this out. Let's go ahead and connect. And oh, we have to sign. And then there you go. Welcome to the Metaverse. Your wallet address. Awesome stuff. There we go. It actually has my address. If you guys want to go ahead and donate some Ethereum, feel free. I'm going to leave it out there. Let's go ahead and log out. Look at that. Nice little animation. Loving it. You guys are proper going above and beyond. And this is what I want to see with all of these builds. And finally, we have Morten Gustavsson. Right? Look at this one, guys. Enter the Metaverse. Log in. Oh, that is an awesome user experience, right? It's a nice UI being updated. That is clean. Right, you guys, absolutely, I didn't expect that, right? When you guys were doing this challenge, I didn't think we'll get homework like this. I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with for the chat app, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I can already tell you that, right? Let's go ahead and jump in. Right now, we're about to go ahead and start off this build. As I mentioned before, guys, so many incredible homework submissions inside of this one. Comment your favorite down below. Smash the thumbs up button if you got inspired by any of those builds, and drop the name of the person who went ahead and inspired you. Again, here's the reminder: Putini, Samin, Demetrius, Osada, Morten. Amazing. I'm honestly not joking. That is amazing work, right? And I'm saying that even as a dev, that is incredible stuff, right? This is why the Pop Fan community is untouchable. It's the best in the world. You guys are helping each other out. I've seen in the Facebook group, incredible stuff. Right, really nice. Now let's get down to it. We're gonna go ahead and build the chat and real-time functionality, so that way you guys can go ahead and run off, build your apps, customize it, all that stuff. Lex says that Demetrios with a monkey and animation, 100%, dude. I agree with you. That's probably my favorite too. I think he crushed it with it. So we're gonna go ahead and literally jump into it right now, guys. So let me go ahead, sort my screens out, get prepped up. We are about to drop into some intense coding session right now. So I want to go ahead and remind you as well, if you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up to the final day. The homework links are in the description if you need to find everything. And as you can see here, we have all of the links that you're going to need, including how to set up your MetaMask wallet address if you haven't already, right? So today's homework, again, simple explanation. We have enter your full name, email, and your deployed site URL. Now, if you followed yesterday, you would have already pushed some code to GitHub, which means you've already connected your Vercel, and that means that today all you need to do is add the functionality, push to your GitHub repo, and Vercel should trigger a redeployment. So it should be really quick for you. You can use the same URL, but make sure you go ahead and if you complete it, fully complete it, make sure you fully complete it, otherwise partially complete if you had any difficulties. That way we can go ahead and have a look and help you out if you get stuck, right? We have your email, we can contact you saying, hey, do you need a hand? All that good stuff. With that said, I think we're ready to go ahead and start this build. So I'm going to go ahead, leave this aside right now and get everything already on the screen. And once again, I can see we just had a couple of hundred people joining the Clouch group just right now. That is mind-blowing. I have no idea what is happening right now. Again, a reminder, we're building this right now. Log into the Metaverse, sign, and we're going to build this application right here. Okay, so this is going to be our goal. In fact, what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of this so we can actually have a nice little UI to go ahead and reference from. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this now into a different screen. And if you look at this, guys, it's also a responsive build, right? So you can see we get a nice responsiveness inside of this build. We're going to be using a bit of CSS grid to accomplish this as well. And you're going to learn all about breakpoints. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun in doing today's session. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop my music now as well so we can have a bit more focus time. All right, let's go ahead and drop this down. I think yesterday we had the ultimate session about 20%. There we go. Let me know if the volume's good, guys. With that said, we're about to jump into this build right now. So this is where we left off yesterday. Okay, this is what we had on the screen. We had our home page, which said if you were authenticated, and it checks with Moralis, it will go ahead and drop the login screen, right? If you weren't authenticated, it'll drop your login screen. Otherwise, it will render out the rest of the page, right? So this is our approach to handling the authentication here. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and extend it with the build that you guys have seen and loved already, right? So I can see the comments flying off. Everyone's getting hyped over this. I'm going to go ahead and actually get my screen a little bit more decked out. See, it's crazy because we're in Dubai right now, so we have to go ahead and prep all these things in advance using different stacks, different things. Is awesome. It's very intense as well. So thank you guys. I appreciate all the support. Right. So at this point, I'm going to cut off my old app. So we have that picture as reference. I'm going to move that picture over here so we can go ahead and reference it anytime we want. Let's go ahead and move that into a different screen. In fact, I'll move this one. Let's go ahead and do that. Nice. Okay, cool. We have this as our reference screen, and we have this as our code. Now I'm going to go ahead and start this app by doing Command J, and inside the terminal, I'm going to go ahead and do npm run dev to kickstart things off. This means it will start off my app inside of with Next.js in the developer environment. So I'll get hot reloading, all that good stuff. Right, it loads our environment variables. Let me know, by the way, if you were able to successfully deploy it with the environment variables. Obviously, it would have worked if you had. Did anyone run into any issues yesterday with that? Because I felt like you guys did an amazing job. We got over, as I mentioned, 200 submissions, incredible stuff. Yes, we have a bit of Web3 today. We're going to be using Moralis to store the off-chain data for all the chats. So it's going to be really, really fun today. Okay, guys? So at this point, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We have, let me split the screen up. Let's open up my Chrome. I'm going to open up a new tab over here, and we're going to do a local host. Let's jump this in. Localhost 3000. Nice. So at this point, I'm going to log into the Metaverse so that way we can bypass the login screen. So there you go. We're in. And now I'm going to go ahead and start building this out. Right, so at this point, the first thing I like to do whenever we're building apps, if you've seen any of my videos, is we like to sort of draft out what we need, right? So we're going to have two main fundamental components here. We've got a header at the top, which is this part, and then we have the messages, right? So I'm just going to do a little drawing here and explain this very quickly. So I'm going to open up my screen brush right now. And as you guys can see, we've got this header section at the top, and then we have the messages down below, okay? So this is going to be componentized. This one's going to be the header messages. So let's go ahead and chuck this in right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mask this out. So we're going to have some form of header component and some form of messages component. It's always going to be easier when you mask it out like this. And again, feel free to extend this app and hype it up as much as you want. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because there's like over 50% of you that haven't subscribed. I don't know why. It's crazy, right? But let's go ahead and start off with the header. The header is the most aesthetic part. It's going to be the most easy to go ahead and see and build. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a div wrapped around all of this, right? So I'm going to get rid of welcome to the app. We'll leave the logout button for now so we can test a few things. So I'm going to go ahead and say div. And inside of this, we're going to have this header and these messages. Okay. Now, what we're also going to do is have another div inside. Now, you're probably wondering, why the heck is he doing two divs? The reason being, guys, is because what we're actually doing with the design here is we actually had it so that, let me pull it over here. We actually had it so that we had a max width constraint. So if you can see here, we actually have a max width being applied. Right, so we have one div for the entire screen, and then we have this max width container which we can constrain. So in order to do that very easily, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the inner div and I'm going to give it a class name of max width. And this is the lovely thing about, Tailwind CSS is you can do all this. Say max width screen, I'm going to say 2XL. So that means on a very big screen, it will limit the width of the screen because I don't want it to be massive. I don't want it to be, at the point where it just gets a bit like hard to read anything and you can't really see what the hell's going on. I want it to be very easy to go ahead and have a nice user experience. Now, when I do that, it's not going to be centered, right? If you limit the width, it will start from here on the left-hand side and it will probably end around here. We need to center it like you see on the screen right here. So in order to do that, you go ahead and change it to MX Auto. So this means it makes the margins automatic, right? And this will go ahead and give you automatic margins from the left and right. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and have a quick water break. Let me know, are you coding along with me today or are you gonna be watching it back? So it'll be interesting to see who's doing what, right? Are you coding along? Are you going back with me? And as I mentioned, I'm going to see a drop off in numbers, right? It's standard. We've got a few hundred people watching across platforms, which is still incredible. Thank you guys for the support, right? So at this point, we're going to create a header. So I'm going to go ahead and make our life a bit easier at this point. We'll go ahead and make the screen a bit bigger, pop this over here. I'm going to do Command B, and in the components, I'm going to go ahead and say header.js. Right now, underscore RFCE creates my functional component. Now inside my header, I'm just going to do a H1 and say I am a header. Now I hate when it does that because it sometimes, you know, tries to auto complete for us. I am a header. Okay, hit save. Nice. So we got everyone coding along. We have Sering, so he's watching. That's nice. Sujay says coding. Dhruv, Lex, Pratik, Edith, VEC. Nice. You guys are coding along. That is awesome. Right, and we have 8 bits per play. He goes watching, currently coding for work. That's awesome, man. Good to see everyone tuning in. All right, so now what we're going to do is do a header like so, and I'm going to go ahead and make this. There you go, looks clean, and now it says I am a header. So we're going to turn that into the lovely header that you see over here. All right, we're going to go ahead, and I do want to see you guys actually, you know, customize this. I'm really excited to actually see what you guys come up with. So that'll be super interesting. Right, now we've got the header inside of here, so we might as well just focus on that first. We'll get that working, kind of get it built out. Before we actually do that, I'm going to go ahead and get this outer div somewhat styled. Okay, so here I'm going to say that we should have the outer div always be the height of the screen, and I want it to be a scrollable container. So we have to set the height of the screen, and then what we actually have to do is set an overflow on the y-axis to scroll. Right, so this means that when we have messages which go past the end of the screen, the entire screen won't move, but the messages part will. Right, in order to achieve this, we say overflow y scroll. And this will allow us to have that nice scrollable functionality, right? Now on the background, I want to have like a pink background. Now, as I mentioned, we are using Tailwind CSS version 3. So make sure you're on version 3 because the colors I'm going to be using today are only supported in version 3. So I'm going to go ahead and change the height of the screen over here. Oh, we've got the, we don't actually need this surrounding div anymore. I'm going to get rid of this. And in fact, well, actually we can go ahead and pop it over here. That's fine. We don't actually need this div. We can do it with the outside surrounding div. So we have the height screen, overflow Y. There we go. Looks pretty clean. And then I'm going to go ahead and say background should be a gradient. And you can see to the top right, to the right. You can change the direction. We're going to do a gradient to the bottom. And it's going to go from the color black, and it's going to change to a gradient of fuchsia. So this is like a new nice pink, and to me I think it looks quite, you know, neon, sort of Tron like, right? So I really like this gradient. So now you can see we get a nice gradient, right? That actually looks really clean. And at this point, all I want to do is if there's any additional overflow, I want to hide it, right? So that way, you know, we make sure that we don't get any leakage, right? So at this point, this is where we want to be. And we have got the text up there in black. Make sure that you understand that it is black, yeah? So it's not going to be, you know, it's not actually hidden. It may look hidden, but it's there, right? I promise you it's there. Kino says, I'm coding along. I'm going to watch back to learn. That is awesome. That would be my advice. Code along with me. And if you get stuck, don't worry about it. Watch it back and you'll learn a bunch while you do it, okay? So at this point, we're going to go into the header, and then we're going to go ahead and I like this music. It's that proper vibe. And then we're going to go ahead and pull in the firstly we're going to pull in the user, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use our handy Moralis. So in that case, to get that trick, by the way, you click at the end of S, control spacebar, and then it pops up with the autocomplete. So I'm going to import that from React Moralis, and this gives us a bunch of things. We're going to pull the user out here, right? Now, because we're authenticated, I can be sure that the user exists, right? Because we have this protection block over here, which says is authenticated. So we know that the user will be there, so we can safely use information about the user at this point, right? Now, what I want to do is firstly, I'm going to have my div, and I want to separate a few things, right? So I want to actually have like a somewhat of a separation here. So I'm going to have like this is going to be stuck to the top. So as I scroll down, it'll be stuck. It's not going to scroll down with the screen, but we're going to go ahead and you know, make it quite nice. So first thing I want to do is start getting some of these images in, right? I want to get this image in. I want to go ahead and have it like, you know, the avatar. So we're going to have this kind of nice avatar going on, and I'm also going to have the user's name, okay? And then we need to create this change username component as well. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to have a div, and I'm going to prep myself up. So I'm going to have an inner div. And inside this inner div, the first one is going to be an image, and this is going to be for this left side, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a div here. I'm going to have an image inside of it, and we're going to be using the Next.js image tag, which is a self-closed image tag, okay? So it says import image from next image. Quick little water break. Must be Dubai. Honestly, must be the heat. All right, the viewership is crazy, man. Everyone's still here. This is awesome. All right, so we've got our nice screen over here. I'm gonna love seeing this sort of build out as we do it. But the source here, I'm gonna say the source should be links. I've shortened this one. It's gonna be 3pi, right? So it's gonna be the Papa Fam logo. So we had this one yesterday. We got 3pi. Now you can see we get that nice error where it says, you need to say it's width or height. What I'm gonna do here, the reason why I put it inside of a div is because I wanna actually go ahead and say that this should actually fill its container. So we're gonna do layout, fill. What's that? Oh shit, okay, my bad. All right, nice, thank you, there we go. All right, so at this point, we've got the image, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and change the layout to fill. So we're gonna go ahead and say layout fill. Nice, everyone can go ahead and say, thank you guys. We're gonna do layout fill. Now, if I do that, you can see that we get a full size picture. Now, I don't know, I mean, it's pretty cool, but that does definitely not what I wanted, right? I mean, it's nice to have, but we're not gonna have that as our final thing, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and optimize this. The first thing I wanna do is make it rounded, full, and this will go ahead and make it a circle, okay? Then I'm gonna do object cover, and you can either do it there, or you can do object, there's a nice way over here, object fit cover. You can also do it there, so we'll actually do it there. And let's go ahead and hit save. Now that's going ahead and fix the aspect ratio, but it's massive, right? So the way we fix this is we need to make the surrounding parent relative. Right, so if I do relative, now it's going to be relative to its parent, and the parent has no height or width. This is why it's not being shown. So if I do a height of 24 and a width of 24 here, hit save, now it's relative to its parent container, but it's maximizing its space, okay? Now here I want to go ahead and give it an MX auto margin. So it should center itself. That's nice. It's going to be in the center of its container. Now, what I actually want to do is on a smaller screen, I want to hide this component. So I'm going to say by default, it's hidden. And only when I hit a large screen, I want it to be an inline grid component because we're going to be using grid in the surrounding elements. So as you can see now, the way it works with breakpoints, guys, is it starts off with a mobile first approach. This means that all the styles that I write are all applied to the mobile first. And if you want to change it, you can add in sizes for the above screen sizes. So you'll see all the styles without a breakpoint, so like LG, SM, they're all getting applied to mobile upward, right? So mobile first design. Then we can go ahead and say when you hit a large screen, also apply that. So what we actually did here was we said it's hidden by default on mobile, and when we hit a large screen, it becomes an inline grid. So as we go to a bigger screen, bam, it comes into play, right? So that's how we do it. So I'm going to go ahead and actually sort of zoom out so we can actually do this one kind of cool. So I'm going to zoom out myself. So I'm forced to zoom out. I'm actually zoomed out a little bit here. So if I go ahead and let's go ahead and do maybe a half and half. There we go. Right, and if I get confused later on, remind me that I zoomed out. Right, so there we go. So we've got this right now, we've got the image, we've got the inline grid. So the outside surrounding component, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this one is gonna have a couple more things. This is actually gonna be a grid component, right? So next to this div is where I'm gonna have our first avatar, right? So this avatar right here, I want to go ahead and have all this information contained. So this one is going to have all that stuff. So we've got a div, and I'm going to go ahead and say that inside of here, we're actually going to have the avatar. And then we're going to go ahead and have the welcome message. And we're going to go ahead and have, oops, if I can spell. And then we're going to have the username, right? And then underneath all of that, we'll also have the change username component. Okay, and that's going to allow us to change a component. So all of this stuff we have to build. So let's go ahead and tackle one thing at a time. Let's do the avatar first, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and contain my avatar, and the avatar is actually going to be a component of its own because I want to reuse it a couple of things, right? So Command B, I'm going to go ahead and create a avatar component, avatar.js. Right, awesome stuff, looks good. And let's do underscore RFCE for our functional component. Now for this avatar, I'm actually going to go ahead and do a few cool things, right? I'm going to pass in a few props, right? And the props here are going to be either a username or it's going to be a logout on press, right? Because basically what I want to do is I want to reuse this avatar, you know, in places like here. But you can see here, it's not clickable. But here, if I go here, it's actually a clickable element. And obviously it's a screenshot, that's why I can't show you. But if I hover over this one and click it, I want to log out. And if I hover over this one, I don't want to do anything, right? I want to show the username underneath. So that's why we need to do what we're doing now, right? So I'm going to pass in two of these things over here. Now for this avatar, let me go ahead and render it on the screen. So let's go ahead and say avatar. like so. Let's go ahead and say, oh nice, ARV says, thanks to you I got a job in Germany. Thanks a lot, bro. That is awesome, man. Well done, smashing it in the Papa fam. Honestly, I lost track of how many jobs we've given right now. So many people have absolutely been crushing it. Well done, guys. You absolutely deserve it. All I'm doing is teaching, right? You guys are doing all the hard work. All right, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and say avatar, and this one in the main screen I'm going to say log out on press. Okay, and this is just going to be a boolean, so hence I don't have to push anything in. It's just going to be a case of if it's true, then you can do that. All right, now I'm going to need our Moralis, so I'm going to go ahead and pop in that hook, and I'm going to go ahead and import it. So control spacebar, use Moralis. Now we've got the user and we've got a logout function, right? So at this point, I've got the, instead of having a div here, I'm just going to render out an image tag. And this is going to be a Next.js image. So self-closing component image tag. Now, what I also want to do here is have a few things, right? So I'm going to say the source should be some kind of cool avatar that creates itself based on the username, okay? So what I'm kind of thinking here is we can use an API such as DiceBears. So if I go over to dicebears.com right now, I'll show you guys how cool this is, right? So heading over to dicebears.com, so it's avatars.dicebear.com. You get this pretty cool API, right? And what this does is, based on the word that you provide, it gives you a different avatar. So if I type in Sunny Sanga, you see it gives me like and you've got different sort of, you know, ideas. You've got personas, pixel art, you've got pixel art neutral, all these kind of cool things, and it all gets randomly generated based on the words that you give in as a seed. Okay, so what we're doing, oh nice, YFF says, okay cool, this is actually interesting what Sunny is teaching, to be honest. Thank you so much, dude. So at this point, this is going to be something which could be pretty handy for what we need right now. So the way I'm going to implement this is I'm going to do a little bit of string interpolation. So our JSX brackets, backticks, not normal ticks, backticks, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in the link. Now I've got a special URL that I've found, so which is going to be the URL for the DiceBears, but it's going to be /API/pixel art. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to append some text to the end of the URL. So what we're going to do here, this is where the seed will go. This is where I type in that random text to generate our image. So at this point I'm going to say, if I pass in a username prop, use that. Okay, so username or get the user, right? So it will first try, if I pass in the username, show that username. The reason why I might need that is because, think about it, I'm going to be using this component for the messages. Now it may not be the user who is logged in. I want to sometimes show a message or an avatar for a message that someone else has sent me. So this is why we need to check first if the username has been provided. Otherwise we will use the user who is logged in. So I'm going to say user.get username. And this is a handy function that they give you. User.getUsername allows us to go ahead and get the username from the user object. Okay, that's why I get this get function, in case you're wondering. So that is actually a special Moralis user that we get back. And if I click into it, you can see that's a function that comes back from Moralis. Okay, so I can see everyone's super hyper focused right now. Wow, we have so many viewers right now. Awesome stuff, guys. Smash the thumbs up if you're enjoying this video, and let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, so you can see we didn't give it a height and a width. Okay, so at this point what I now need to do is go ahead and I'm actually going to give this one a layout of fill, right? Because I want it to be determined by its parent component, right? So if I do layout fill, I'm going to go ahead and say on click, right? If you click this, I only want to make a arrow function be triggered off if the logout on press prop is passed through. So if I pass this in, logout on press, only then do I want to log out. Okay, so what we're actually saying here is only if you pass this. This is basically a way of checking a boolean. So if this is true, then log out. Okay, somebody says, what extension are you using to jump into function modules? That's not an extension. All I do is simply hold command and I click in. Right, so that's built into VS Code. You can do that by default out of the box, right? So we've got this looking pretty good. Now that wasn't all, by the way, guys. After we've got the username, use.get username, after that closing bracket, you have to say .svg. Okay, it's an SVG file, and now you should be able to see what we see here. Free Code Camp, what's up? Because morning Sunny, hope you're well. Where are you at the moment? Don't look like you're in your normal self. Dude, I'm in Dubai right now. I'm in Jay's right now, so we're actually together and we're doing this challenge over this side. So absolutely incredible stuff. Okay, let's keep crushing, man. So at this point, that is basically our username. Oops, there we go. So let me log in. I actually clicked it and I did the logout. So the logout works, so that's nice. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have some effects on this dice bear. So we're going to go ahead and make that look pretty cool. So for the class name, let's go ahead and style it up a bit. So class name, we're going to say firstly, it should be rounded 4. Right, I want to give the background a nice black color. So background black, looking pretty nice. I want to say cursor should be a pointer. So when I hover over it, I know it's something clickable. So in this case, you can see now I hover and the cursor changes to a pointer. Looks pretty nice. Right. John says, what's your effect? What's the effect or purpose of the backticks again? So basically, if I don't do backticks, right, you can't add in JSX. So you can't merge a string with some JavaScript if you don't do backticks. Or you have to do it the old school way, which looks something like this, right? You would have your string, right? Oops, string plus like a variable name, so like user or something like that. But you don't want to do that, right? That's the old way of doing it. This is like the newer way where you string interpolate. That's what it's called, right? That's basically why you connect, like you combine your string with a variable. That's hence why we have this syntax, right? So looking pretty good. I actually want to kind of customize it though. I want to have it so when I hover over that, it's going to go ahead and change the opacity. So we have these nice hover utility classes where we can go and say hover, change the opacity to 75, right? And you can do whatever you want with these hover and active clicks and all that. So now if I hover over it, nice. So that looks a lot more clickable. It looks like something's actually going to happen when I click this, right? So that's exactly what I wanted. Krishna says, will you consider TypeScript in the future? 100. I love TypeScript. We're just not doing it right now because we're doing a bunch of other tech like Web3 and so forth. But stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn TypeScript as well. We got your back, we got you covered. Smash the thumbs up button if that excites you. Right, so at this point, avatar is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and change it now and go back to my header. And instead now, remember it's layout fill, which means it's going to go ahead and maximize its potential around it. So I'm going to go ahead and change this class name to have some height and width. So we're going to say height of 48, and you can see it should go ahead and snap itself into a decent size in a second. Height of 48 and a width of 48 too. Now the reason why this isn't taking effect is because we need to make it relative. That means that the children inside of it will be relative to that container. That's why it kicks in after you do relative. So that's how we get that nice effect going on, right? Now, when I'm on a large screen, I want to go ahead and change a few things. So large, and we're going to go ahead and say MX auto. So on the large screen, I want to center it. So you can see there, right? On the large screen, it's now centered. And then we want to go ahead and say, I want to give a border pink 500, border pink 500. That's an awesome message right now. We've got Free Code Camp says, I got a contracting job for 1 year at £270 a day, and they'll pay me this week for doing nothing but getting up to speed with the code base. Your YouTube videos have really helped me so much. Thanks, mate. Jay, capture that. That is awesome. That's really incredible stuff, dude. So happy for you. Amazing. And he also says, also sweet, you're in Dubai, code here in the UK. Yeah, man. That's why I'm out here getting a tan right now. We're enjoying it. Follow me on Instagram if you're going to see my Dubai journey as well. A lot of fun. All right, so yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying that. We're going to do border pink 500, and then I'm going to go ahead and say border should have a thickness of 8. Right, and now we get this, but that's not nice because that's square and the actual picture is kind of, it's round. So we need to go ahead and say rounded 4, and that will go ahead and merge the two worlds. Perfect, right? Looking pretty nice now. Now remember, it only applies a margin auto on the large screen, so that's why it sticks to the left. Otherwise, look at that. Again, this nice aspect. And when you combine all these breakpoints in different areas, you get this nice responsive app feel, right? It's very nice when it comes together. Now, the overall app so far is actually forming up pretty quick. So we've done the avatar. We're going to now do the welcome message, right? So the welcome message is going to be at H1 because it's quite a high priority message. We're going to say welcome to the Papa Fam Metaverse, right? Papa Fam Metaverse. And you guys can feel free, customize this up, change it up. Now it's very hard to see that text right now. So instead I'm going to do text is 3XL. Right, 3XL. My God, we just got low. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? Class name, text 3XL. That's insane. We've got Vishal says, hey Sunny, just got a new 40K job in India. All thanks to you. $40,000, guys. He goes, you are doing an amazing work creating next generation developers. I enjoy your content very much, and I've done all your builds. Jay, capture that. That is awesome, man. See what I'm saying? It's mind blowing. Congrats, dude. That is absolutely massive. All right, welcome to the Papa Fam Metaverse. Nice, that looks pretty good. We're also going to change the text at some point here to be a nicer color as well, right? We're going to make it a nice pink in a second as well. So in fact, I'm going to apply that to all of the text. So I'll show you how to do it afterwards, but let's do it right now, right? So the first thing you want to do is go to the div at the top, put class name, and I'm going to say text should be pink 500. right? There we go. And now you can see it a lot more easier, okay? So we've got the H1 looking pretty good. We're also going to add a H2, and this H2 is going to be a little bit different. It's going to have the username. So obviously, as we're already at this point, we'll have access to the user. We pull the user in with the Moralis hook, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our JSX over here. We'll say user.get username. Okay, user.get username. Now I just want to check, actually they actually sometimes have a nice little extension here, set username, get username. Okay, you could do that as well, right? You can go ahead and do get username, and that's a nice little function from Moralis. And now you can see, boom, that's actually my generated username inside of Moralis, right? So I want to show you where the hell that is actually getting generated right now. So if I go over to Moralis, right, so I'm going to log into Moralis right now and have this up and running. I think it will help you guys out by seeing the backend as well. Right, EO, what's up, dude? He goes, hey Sonny, so good to see you again. So good to see you in as well, man. Awesome stuff, right? Let's check this out. So okay, it's opened up our server. I'm now going to show my screen. So Metaverse challenge. Let's click on a drop down and let's click on dashboard. Okay, now inside of your dashboard, this is basically going to be like your Firebase console, very like similar experience, right? Now at this point, if I go to user, you can see when I logged in, it created a user, right? Now we have 2 accounts that I've logged in with. The one that I'm probably going to be interested in is the one with my Ethereum address, which is the 815. This is it. This is me, right? So at this point, this is my account that I'm logged in with, and as you can see, I do get a object ID, or where is it? My user ID. Yeah, here, my user ID, right? So this is actually my username out of the box, right? So they give me a predefined username that we can then go ahead and customize to allow us to have a nicer user interface, right? Ajit says, nice work, sir. You are a gem for the developers. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate you tuning in. Amazing to have you here, right? And guys, we're just getting more and more viewers right now. It's absolutely crazy. So thank you for all your support. Smash the thumbs up button to help push this video to more developers who are trying to learn, okay? So this is looking really good. ATO Bradley, I appreciate you, dude. All right, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and yeah, I want to change that eventually. So we're going to create a change username component to do that in just a sec, right? That's pretty good, but I want to style the H2 class name, right? So we do class name, and let's pop it over here. And yeah, we already have a responsiveness kind of kicking in. We're going to say text should be 5XL. I want the font to be bold, and I want to truncate it if it's too long. All right, so you can see the truncate gives us the ... And that's very nice, guys, because it works on the bigger screen, but on the smaller screen, I don't want it to go crazy. And you might have people who try and break it and go a bit mad and put like 100 billion characters in. I don't want it to break the thing, right? Eddie says, just watch Tesla video, motivated. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Manish says, how can I buy that Papa t-shirt? Dude, you can buy the Papa t-shirt. The link is in the description for the merch. So go ahead, check it out. I'd love to see you in a Papa t-shirt, man. So go ahead and shout me out on Instagram when you do that. All right, so we've got the welcome message, the username done. That's looking pretty sick. And let's go ahead and now do the change username component, okay? So the change username component is going to be literally a component. So I'm going to have change username, and also I'm going to be giving away this playlist at the end of the day, on day 5. So make sure you're there if you want to get this playlist. It's my coding playlist. I really do listen to it. Jay, that is so jokes. Let's go ahead and copy that. Command B. Go ahead and make a new component. Change username _RFCE. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and hit save. I need to import change username. Nice stuff. That is hilarious, man. If you saw the chat, that is funny. And we're going to go ahead and start creating out this change username component. Right now, it's not returning anything, hence why it's kind of freaking out, right? So this is not going to be a div. This is actually going to be a form, right? And the reason being is because I want it to kind of pop out and do some cool stuff with it, right? So at this point, I'm going to have a form. I'm going to have a button. It doesn't have to be a form, right? I've just left it open to interpretation. So you can go ahead and actually make it an interactive form if you want. Mine's actually going to be a quick pop-up for simplicity, right? So we've got change your username. Now, when I click it, you see there's like a big refresh happening, right? So we don't actually need it to be a form. In fact, you know what? Forget it. We'll make it a div, right? You don't actually need it to be a form. Originally, I had it as a form because I had a different user interface, but I changed it afterwards, so we'll go ahead with that. Here's our change username. Looks pretty nice. Now I actually want to stick that to the top right. I don't want it to be there, so I'm actually going to go ahead and say text should be small, right? Text should be small, and we're going to make it absolutely positioned. Now, if I do that, it's going to mean that we have absolute positioning across the entire screen. So now I can go ahead and say top 5, right 5. I want you to be careful when you're using absolute positioning, right? I don't want you to go ahead and use this stuff like willy-nilly. You shouldn't be throwing it around the place. Try and use relative positioning and that sort of stuff, or flexbox or grid, but only when needed. For example, I want that to always be in the top right. I'm happy to have it there, right? Johanna says, can I just say that all these builds, NJ, just come in clutch. It's fire, fire, fire. So pumped to have this in my portfolio. I like to call myself a cross-stack developer. Thank you so much, Johannes. Appreciate you. I always see you tuning in, dude. That is amazing. All right, really, really nice stuff, dude. And I'm proud of you, man. So at this point, we can see we've got this bigger looking sort of app. That looks pretty cool. Now we have top right. And I'm going to go ahead and actually change it to have a bit of styling around that button, right? Where we have change your username, I'm going to make that a class name. And here I'm going to say that the text should be pink 500, which we've already actually done. So instead of that, now I want to do the text when we hover should be pink, and I'll make it 700, right? So 700. Now when I hover over it, you see we get a nice little UI change, right? So that looks pretty good. All right. Oh no, oh, damn it. Okay, didn't show it. Nice. All right, but good. Now I got the screen back. Oh, Mr. Frank is in the house. Let's go, man. That is awesome. $5 donation. I love the fact Frank's clutch, man. Always comes in. Peter, I see you, dude. YF, thank you, dude, for letting me know. Everyone knows Frank at this point, right? We're gonna click on change it. So now we've got that nice user interaction. So I changed hover text pink, and I get this nice hovering, right? So at this point, what we're gonna now do is hard to see the screen. So I have to kind of, I have to just muscle memory this. That's why sometimes it goes off. Right, let's have a look. Oh, nice. Al Kundan says, just curious, will Papa React ever come into the API development world? It could be awesome. Yes, dude. I'm down for anything. It just depends on our time, right? But otherwise, yeah, man. I don't see why not. So we've got this looking pretty nice. Now I want to go ahead and change the I'm actually going to do something pretty nice. I'm going to pull in Moralis, but I'm actually going to pull in a few additional things which we haven't seen before. So I'm going to go ahead and pass in set user data, which is a handy function for setting the user's information. Is user updating is a very handy one we're going to use to block the person spamming the button. User error, which provides an error if anything went wrong while we're updating the user, and the user object. So as I mentioned before, Moralis is king because they give you so much at disposable, like sort of methods, functions. If you want to see more, you literally command click on any of these and you should be able to see a list of the things that can get returned. So you can see all of this. If I need the, the generic Moralis object, I can get it here. I can pull out any of these things, right? Which is absolutely insane, right? That's really, really nice. So at this point, we've got this being pulled in. So I want to have it so that it says, I'm going to disable this button. So disable the button when the user is updating. So if the user is updating, I want to disable it. And I'm going to say on click of this button, I want to trigger a function. So on click is going to be set the username, right? So set username. And we don't have this function yet. So I'm going to go ahead and create it right now. So at the top of the screen, I'm going to say const set username equals an arrow function. And as you can see, this is a button, right? When I click a button, in this case, nothing happens, right? But if it was a form and I had to submit, you'd get an event and you'd have to do e.prevent default. Just the thing that I thought I'd mention. That way you don't kind of, get lost in that sort of part of it. I'm going to go ahead and have a quick water break. I advise you guys too as well. We're doing really well for pace, but don't burn out, okay? Nice. Alive Bizcar says, hey Sonny, I'm just off to work building a site in the UK. Awesome stuff. I'll catch up later tonight. Keep doing the great work. Awesome stuff, dude. Smash the thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Thank you for tuning in, man. So set username is our function. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and actually have a very quick kind of pop-up that comes up on the screen. I'm going to say const username equals, and I'm going to prompt the user right now. I want you guys, as part of your homework and challenge assignment, customize your modal that pops up. If you can make it look beautiful, I've left this open to go ahead and leave you guys to go ahead and expand on this, okay? So I'm going to say prompt, and that means ask a question, and I'm going to literally also enter your new username, right? Now what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to do an example of that string interpolation. So backticks, and now I'm going to have some JavaScript in here. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have this, and I'm going to say your current username is actually going to be this. That way you can actually tell the user what their current username is, and then and then sort of because it might be handy to say enter your new username and your current username is this, right? So that's kind of a nicer user experience. Alive Business, smash thumbs up. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that, right? And we also need to protect our app against somebody trying to break it and put an empty username in. So if there is a no username, we're actually going to halt the operation of this function. So we're going to say if there's no username, cut it, return at this point, right? Otherwise, I want to set the user data. This is a Moralis function, which will go into our Moralis database, and it will go ahead and update the user that we're actually logged in as. It will update the username field, right? So the really handy thing we can do here is we can say set the user data, and we pass in an object. As part of this object, you can pass in a few functions. So if I do control spacebar, you can see we get a bunch of these, things that pop up. Now, what I'm actually going to do is change the username here. So username, right? And in ES6, if your key and value are the same sort of word, you can go ahead and get rid of it, so it's shorthanded. So now that will actually set the username when we do it. Okay, so at this point, think about what we're doing. We're using set user data, which will update the username when I click this. So if I click this now, we get a nice pop-up, enter your new username, the current one is this, and then we're pulling it and showing it on the screen over there. So if I go ahead and do Papa React and I hit OK, boom, I now have a new username and I have a new avatar, because that was the seed for the avatar that got designed on the screen and shown on the screen. So now I'm going to do Command F to refresh, and you guys should see I'm still Papa React. Okay, so really intuitive, nice system. If I do Papa React 1, 2, 3, enter, nice, I have a different avatar. In fact, I really like my old avatar. So Papa React, there you go, nice, cool. I'm like a hipstery kind of Silicon Valley guy, that dude, what's his name? If anyone knows the show Silicon Valley, what's that guy's name? Guilfoyle, that's it. I'm Guilfoyle there, right? Pretty cool. This is nice. Okay, awesome stuff. All right, so at this point, this is looking pretty nice, right? So we're going to now move over back to the header. We have the change username component stuff. We're actually doing a very, very good pace right now. Let me know if you're enjoying the pace that we're doing. But yeah, I think this is working out pretty good. So for the div containing all this information, I want to go ahead and, as I mentioned before, on a mobile screen, I want to do text left. The reason being is I want it to be kind of very easy to read on a phone. Right, so in this case, the text should be on the left. Now, when it goes into a higher sort of screen, so the large screen, I want to text center, right? So if I do text center there, on the bigger screen, we get a nice centering of the element, right? So that looks a lot nicer at this point. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now we can now go ahead and do so there's two things that we can do here, right? So we can use the grid. In fact, I originally had used the grid, so I'm going to show you what I initially did. But initially I wanted to split this up into 3 sections, but then I realized change your username is nicer at the top, right? It was easy to do it that way. But I'm actually going to go back to my 100% because I was zoomed out before. But what I want to do now is I want to have it so that this just drops down, and I'll show you how I did it before with the grid, and you guys can feel free to use Flexbox or anything else that you want to use, right? But if you do want to align this, there's many ways you can do it. You can do Flexbox, but the problem with that is you'll kind of be pulling things into like maybe justify between or any of that. I just want to kind of center it over there, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say that this entire container is a grid. It's going to be a 5-column grid, so grid columns 5. And I'm going to go ahead and say on the large screen, it should become a grid column 6. All right, grid columns 6. Nice. I'm going to say the items should have an end, in which case they get centered over on the end side. And then we're going to go ahead and say the items should be center as well on the large screen. So large screen, the items should be on the center. All right. Now give it a second. We need to go ahead and actually give these things each of their columns span. All right. So in this case, what I want to do is the div over in the middle should span majority. Right. So this one is going to be the main one. So this is going to say column span 4. All right. Let's go ahead and save, and now you can see it centers it and it's going to be spanned in the middle, right? There's many ways you can do that. The reason why I wanted to show you that, guys, is because I wanted to kind of, we always kind of show Flexbox on the channel, but you guys can feel free to kind of mess around with it as you want, because in this case we have the main middle sort of, div is taking up 4 columns. The overall grid is 5 columns, so we have a 4-to-1 split here, right? So it's a 4-to-1 split. This is 4, this is 1, and then we've centered the items, but you can feel free to change it up however you want. Okay, Pranav, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. Savas says he's Guilfoyle. That's it, right? Another water break. Jay, is the AC on? I'm baking, dude. Okay, let's carry on. So we're gonna go ahead and drop in a nice little shadow, right? So we want to get this black background, make it look pretty nice, right? Jay's modding like a boss today. I can just see people getting flung out left, right, and center. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Irvine says Internet Explorer doesn't support Create. Notice in Metaverse, IE is more than. Oh, okay, interesting. Right, so yeah, that's true though. Web3 isn't that good supported in Internet Explorer. Whereas Internet Explorer is just slacking. Honestly, I'll be honest. But in this case, I'm gonna make the top sticky because when I scroll down, I want the header to kind of be stuck at the top. I'm gonna say sticky top 0. That means it'll stick to the top. I'm gonna give it a padding of 5. Right now, it's too close to the sides. That looks nice. I'm gonna go ahead and also do Z50. Oh, somebody said, who are you talking to? Jay's over here. All right, Jay, what's up? Jay's over there. Can you see him? It looks like I'm talking to someone. You gotta pop your head in, man. Huh? Let's go ahead and see. Let's bring Jay in. Look, there he is. There isn't. It's not me talking to nobody, right? That's so jokes. Serene Carden says, catch you, Sunny and Jay. I've definitely joined day 5. Awesome stuff, dude. I want to see you there. We've got Z50, right? So that means it's going to be at the top layer. So, you know, when we scroll down past the messages, it's going to be stuck to the top. We want it to be at the top still. We don't want it to be like kind of behind all the other text. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to say the background should be a black, and immediately we get this kind of nice effect happening, right? And then I'm also going to say that we should have a shadow, which is small. Very subtle, right? I'm not joking. That is so subtle, but it's a very little nice design that we add in, right? So background shadow SM. And I'm also going to go ahead and say the border at the bottom should be a value of 2, and I want to make it a pink border. So border pink, I'm going to say 700. Oh, pink 700. Right, awesome stuff. Now that looks clean. All right, smash the thumbs up button if that's pretty cool. We have the nice, you know, it's centering itself. We have all this goodness happening. That is very nice. Prashun, thank you so much, dude, for that donation. Appreciate you, man. You didn't have to do that. He's been doing it lately. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. So if we refresh, you can see we're still on this page. We have full persistence, looking great, and that will actually log us out as well. So I'm going to click on login again, get back into my account, and we're going to go ahead and implement the messages now. So awesome stuff if you're following me along right now. Really doing a great job, guys. We're going to go ahead and carry on with the messages portion. I can get rid of this logout button as well now. So going back to index.js, I can get rid of this kind of button over here, which means we can simplify our code over there as well. Right. Next thing we're going to do is create the messages component. Now, if you've never been, you know, surrounded by, no, Robin Ina says, Jay, you're such a good guy. You seem like a nice dude. He's a very nice dude. Let's go ahead and create the messages component here. Yeah. Now, if you haven't used React before and you're enjoying the component-based design, let me know. I'm always interested to see what, you know, newcomers of React sort of like in this space, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit save, and you can see no messages has been created. So we're going to go to components, messages.js. This is where we're going to start pushing data into the message portal. I'm actually going to be manipulating Moralis to push data in. So underscore RFCE. Aman Singh, thank you for the €5 donation. I want to share my story also. I just got a new contract here in Paris. Nice, Paris. And he goes, this month as a junior software engineer, we use React. Your videos help me a lot. Dude, that is awesome. Well done to Aman Singh. Thank you for the donation. And dude, if you're in a new job, share the videos with them and help them out too, right? My motto here at the Papa Fam is pass it forward, right? Go ahead and keep contributing, help everyone out. That's why it's called Papa Fam. It's a family of developers, not just a community, right? This is what we're about. Bavik says, I'm new to Next.js. Awesome stuff, man. And we got Egypt in the house as well. What's up? All right, so we're going to open up our messages here. H1, say, I am the messages. Hit save, Command B to hide, and we need to go ahead and pull this in. So I'll close avatar, open up index, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this in here. Nice, and we should see it now. I am the messages, right? So we're going to go ahead and turn this into this. And bear in mind, we will have the sender messages over here and receiver messages over here as well. Right. Oh, nice. Rogers, man. He goes, anyone from Kenya? And he's from Kenya, by the way. He goes, if you're not joining the Papa Fam, please join. You need reasons to get in touch. Speak to Rogers. Guy is a king with development right now. But I've seen him in his early days of development. I know this is like, you know, it's breaking flow, but this is really important. This is real people doing real results, right? It's incredible stuff. Thank you, Efosa. £5 donation. Here comes another super build. Let's go. Thank you, Sonny. Appreciate you, dude. And this is getting the energy hyped up, man. We're going to go into messages now and start building out the next portion of this build, right? Next.js, pun intended, right? So at this point, what we're going to do is start things off by having our div, right? Now this div is too close to the side, right? So we're gonna go ahead and give it a padding. We can pad it out afterwards. For now, I'll do a padding on the bottom of 56 because when I basically scroll down, I want to have extra space. So when we actually scroll down, I always want to have extra. I'll show you that in practice afterwards, right? So what's up, Zaid? So now we're gonna have. First, we're going to start things off with Powered by Moralis. They deserve a shout out. They're incredible for what they're doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. So I'm going to pop a div. I'm going to use a special component they actually give us. I'm going to import a bunch of stuff that we're going to need from Moralis. So I've got buy Moralis, use Moralis hook, and use Moralis query. So these are going to be some handy React Moralis functions that we're going to pull in. The interesting one here is a component which is saying buy Moralis. So this is to go ahead and help them out in terms of growth. Ivan, if you're watching, dude, incredible stuff, man. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this in. I'm going to say style equals, and here we're going to say margin left. So I'm going to do some inline styling here to show you a mix of the two worlds. So inline styling, margin left. And we're going to go ahead and say auto here, and I'm going to say margin right auto as well, right? Margin right is going to be auto as well, and that will basically center it. That's like saying MX auto. I'm going to do the same thing, margin left or margin right auto, hit save, and Powered by Moralis pops up. Now that's different to what I have, right? This is actually because we haven't given a special prop called variant. Right, so variant pops in, command space bar, and we should see dark, light, and color. So if I do dark, we have a nice dark color. Now looking pretty cool. Julian Van Dyke, good morning. Where you from? I overslept. Now I missed a lot of stuff. Don't worry, dude. It's going to be up afterwards. You're not too late to get into it. BC Swiden says, hello from Russia. What's up, dude? Love to see the Russians in the house. Good to see you here, man. So for this div as well, I'm going to give it a margin on the y-axis to push it away from the top. So margin top, actually we'll give it a margin both top and bottom. So y of 5. I love this song. This is so sick. Right. Can you guys hear the music or not? I'm not sure if it's good at the volume. Let me know. Right. And in fact, I'm going to have a water break, right? Don't burn out. Have some coffee, have some water. We're doing a good pace. All right. Nice. Oh, nice. He says hi in Russian. Next. That's sick, man. Let's carry on. So we got the messages here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have a div underneath where we render out each message that has been sent to us, right? So at this point, I'm going to say there's a div, right? And this will basically render out all the messages, right? So this will render out the message or messages, let's call it, each message. Let's just say each message. And then we're also going to go ahead and have a send message button over here. So this will be in a div, and this one is going to be a send message function. Right, we're going to build this one first in a second, so I'll go ahead and comment out for now. And then underneath all of that, we're going to have a sort of message which tells you you're up to date, right? So when you scroll to the bottom, it should go ahead and say that you're up to date with the thing, right? So div with a P inside, it's called emit, this little trick, you can do that. And we're going to go ahead and say you're up to date, and we're going to get the user name, right? I'm going to go ahead and pop this in, right? So we're going to have P, you're up to date with the user. Now we don't actually have our hook in play at the moment. So what I'm going to do is import that as such. We have const user equals use Moralis. Nice. He goes, you're up to date, Papa React. Awesome stuff. Looks good. And then what we're actually going to do here is style up that class name because it's a simple one. We can go ahead and do it. We can say text should be centered. Text should be a gray of 400. And we're going to say margin top of 5. That looks nice. Oh, great. There we go. And now you can see you're up to date, Papa React, and then all the messages will be in between it. Now the send message is the interesting one that we have to build first. That allows us to actually send a message and go ahead and do the interesting things about showing them, all right? Andrew Fail says, I love your work, mate. Dude, I love your support. Thank you so much. Johannes says, volume is perfect. Thank you for the feedback, dude. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this little comment. And what we'll do instead is we'll literally pop in a send message component. And we need to create this send message component. So command B, hit save. I'm going to go ahead and do a SendMessage.js underscore RFCE to create a React functional component. And then here will be where we send a message. All right, so send message, and let's go ahead and import it back over here. Control spacebar, import at the top. Bam, send message, right? So we're going to make that into this lovely enter a message Papa React box. Right, and it's going to be stuck to the bottom of the screen. So first thing I want to do is I want to get that outer container, and I'm going to say class name should be flex. We should justify it in the center, right? That's going to be the first thing. That way it's automatically centering before we even begin. Click send message. Now we're inside of our send message, and we're going to go ahead and style this one out. So For this one, I'm going to make it a form because we want to have that enter functionality where you type a message in, hit enter, and it looks pretty good. Roland says, what's up, Papa Tesla? Nice. Roland from Uganda, we love your content. Appreciate you guys, man. Honestly, love these messages. Thank you so much. We're going to have an input field, and then we're going to have a button as well, right? So we've got a button down here. This button is going to say send, right? So you can see we've already got like a nice little structure coming in, but we're going to turn that into this. So a bit of front end magic at this point, right? So first thing I want to do is style out the button. The button I'm going to say is a class name. It's going to have a font bold, and we're going to make the text a pink color of 500. Looks pretty nice already. Kind of look, you know, completely changes the fill up. The input field, we're going to say class name becomes a I'm going to say the outline should be none, and that basically represents the blue. So you see, it has a blue little border around it, right? That gets rid of it. So outline none gets rid of that. So now if you see here, we have no outline. Looks really nice, right? Then we're going to say that the background should be transparent. So it's going to be see-through, but you can't see anything, which is a bit tricky, okay? So we need to go ahead and fix that. But first, we're going to make the text white. We're going to go ahead and make the border a 4, not that. And we're going to say border blue of 400. Right, feel free to use all the new colors in Tailwind as well. Z50, I want it to have the top level high priority. It should always be over the messages, not under, right? And we're going to make it rounded full as well, right? So Z50 rounded full. Hit save, and that looks pretty slick, right? And I'm also gonna have, I don't know why my Siri kicked off. There we go. Then we're gonna go ahead and say a width of 1112, right? 1112. So that'd be basically like it's gonna try and use up the most width that we have. No, sorry, that's not here. That's going to be afterwards. What am I thinking? Right. So I've actually mixed up a few things. I don't want this to be rounded. That's my bad. Right. And that's not even Z50. This is the outside bit. I'm getting way too confused. Right. Even the border. No, the border's not here. My bad. Right. The text should be white inside, but that's enough. When I say the placeholder, there we go. I was getting well confused. Placeholder should be gray with 500. And let's actually pop in a placeholder. Let's go ahead and say the placeholder should be, I'm going to say enter a message with the username. I'm going to pop that in here. So placeholder should be enter a message with the user. I need to import my Moralis hook. So let's go ahead and pop that in like so. Go to the end of the word, control space bar, import it. Nice. Enter a message Papa React. But it doesn't look that nice, right? So in the form, I'm going to make it a flex box, right? And then for the input, I'm going to say it should actually flex grow, which means take up as much room as you want for that bit. So I'm going to say flex grow. Right, hit save, and then for the actual width here, I'm going to say width should be 11/12. Right, now you can see it starts to use up the maximum space. Right, so it looks really clean already. Now over here, it's going to basically go ahead. If I type in a bunch of stuff, it's going to be so close to that edge, right? So we need to give it a padding of right on the of 5, right? And that means it won't touch the end anymore. That's going to look pretty clean. It gets rid of that issue that we have. We're going to do the functionality of this in just a sec, but let's continue styling out the box. We're going to say it's going to be fixed to the bottom of the screen, right? So this is actually different to being sticky. It's just going to be fixed to the bottom. The background should be a black, but it's not going to be a pitch black, right? So you can see it's black, but I'm actually going to change the opacity to 80, right? So it's going to be somewhat see-through now, okay? Now we want to make this actually have a padding on the x-axis. So padding on the x-axis of 6 and a padding on the y-axis of 4. Right, now you can see it automatically is starting to look really good. Now when it goes to a massive screen, I don't want it to be huge. Like, look at that. If I go to a huge screen, it's just ridiculously big. I want it to always have a max width constraint. So we need to go ahead and enforce that now. So the way I do that is I go ahead and say max width of 2XL. Right, that's the one I'm happy with. And now you can see it will never get bigger than that 2XL. Looks pretty nice, right? This is looking really nice. Joshua says, Hossein, do you design all your UIs as you code, or do you design them in Figma? So I actually like to play around and design it as I code. I'll be honest, right? Sometimes I get inspiration. I have used Figma, but I'm kind of an on-the-fly kind of guy, right? But if you're doing pro work, then maybe doing it, yeah. Victor, what's up, dude? He goes, hello, Mr. Papa. What's up, man? All right, we're going at a very good pace right now, right? We got max 2XL. And I'm going to say the opacity we've already done. Let's give it a shadow. I want it to have a floating effect. Shadow should be extra large. Now you can see it's got a nice little shadow under there. All these things kind of bring it together, give it that nice little finishing touch. Right now we want this to be rounded full. Right, this one should be rounded full, rounded full. There we go. Boom. What's up, Crew 10? See you, man. So this is looking pretty nice. The only thing we're missing now is that border, right? So we're going to say border should be a width of 4, and I'm going to make it a blue border. So border blue, 400. right? Oops, 400. Nice. That's looking clean. Right, looking really nice at this point, right? So now we need the functionality part. So when I type in here, I need to basically keep track of that value. Now there's two ways. I teach you both ways in all my videos, right? I always show you, like, you know, the reference you can use to basically point towards that input field and then do something with the information, or you can track the value of it, and when the user types in, you can attach the value to an on-change listener. I'm going to do that way, right? So we're going to keep a piece of state inside of React, which is essentially a way of keeping track of a variable in the reactive way. So we're going to say const, and we have these square brackets, and we have the first thing, which is the variable, second thing, which is the setter function, which allows me to change it, right? And we're going to say user state. We're going to give an initial value of blank, as we don't want the user to already have some text inside there. Control space bar, import it from React. Okay, so we have our message over here. Now the way I basically attach it here is I go ahead and say value equals message. Now if I do that, you can see if I type in, I'm hitting the keyboard now, nothing's happening, because we need to have an on change where the user types in. Every time they type in, an event gets fired off. So what we want to do is set the message to e.target.value. Basically means this e.target.value means whatever the user just typed in. Right, so thank you, Victor. He goes, explaining a lot of new tech. Thank you, appreciate that, dude. So let's go ahead and hit save now, and you should know that it's working by going ahead and typing in. That's awesome. Now you can see the username comes in there. So if I was to change the username at this point, Papa React 123, hit save, look, it changes everywhere with alongside my avatar. Very reactive, right? And there we go, we go back to our Guilfoyle. Right, it looks really good. And if you haven't already, a quick reminder, sign up for the final day challenge. Jay just dropped the link in the chat. Make sure you're there, right? I really want to go ahead and teach you guys as much as possible for free. Make sure you go VEC, is it better to use a user ref? For optimization, most likely yes. So I would actually recommend you do that. But again, I like to show a bit of both in my builds, right? But yeah, you can use the user ref absolutely to track the value, right? I do it in my coaching calls all the time. I go back and forth to show you, right? So at this point, when we click the button, I want to basically go ahead and say send message, and I'll create that function in a second. But as we're in a form, I want to make the type of this button be submit. This means that if I hit enter, so if I basically type in, we need to create the send message function, right? So I'm saying const send message, const send message equals, it has event as an argument, which is basically going to say, right, if I go ahead and hit save now, if I type in, hit enter, see how the page refreshes? That's because we're in a form and we submitted the form. But what we need to do is e.prevent default, okay? And then we go ahead and hit save. And at this point, now if I hit enter, it doesn't go ahead and freak out, okay? So it looks a lot better already at this point. We want to protect our code though, right? If the user has no message, right? If there is no message that has been entered in, we want to return the operation, right? So that's actually pretty cool, but I'm going to show you, explain it to you, right? Return statement is not allowed, right? If a user return, that's interesting. Why is it not allowed? Oh yeah, I've got it here. There you go. So at this point, if there is no message, stop the execution. So if the user hasn't entered a message and I hit enter, I don't want anything to go to Moralis, right? But if they have got a message, then what I need to do is add the message into the Moralis database. We call this off-chain data, right? Now, many people may get confused and be wondering, well, don't you want to push it to the Ethereum blockchain? Well, if you do that, guys, it's not free to push content onto the blockchain. You have to pay something called a gas fee. The gas fee is essentially what pays for people to go ahead and verify the transaction that you just went ahead and did, which is putting the message into the network. That's expensive for Ethereum, right? Many of you may know that it's kind of an expensive gas fee at times. $100, $50 per message. That's going to be crazy. So what we typically do is we have these off-chain databases where we store things like the messages. That's a really great use case. If you did want to have an actual, decentralized storage mechanism, which Moralis is working on, by the way, I've been told by Ivan, then you can use something like Polygon, which is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper gas fees, and then you can have a kind of a chat forum like that. That's another option, but this is called off-chain, and we combine that with on-chain sort of verification, authentication, or other stuff. Remember, imagine if you had a marketplace, you could still have on-chain transactions where people buy and sell NFTs and all that stuff. All that kind of stuff happens, right? Really nice. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to prepare Moralis's message. So the way we do that is we create something called a Moralis object, right? So in this case, I'm going to create a messages object. And this is basically going to define the structure that it goes into the database as. So in this case, I'm going to say Moralis, and you can see I pulled in the generic Moralis object, Moralis.object, right, dot extend, right, extend messages, right. Now at this point you can see Moralis object extend messages. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically creating like a table in the database for messages, right? This is what I'm prepping for. And then what I do is I get an instance of that class. So this is similar to this, basically on the lines of class-based programming. So we basically get a messages instance. So we say messages equals a new messages. Okay, that basically has given us a nice shaped object that we can then go ahead and update or push over to Moralis, right? Thank you, Frank. Another $5 donation. Sunny and Jay, the Moralis guys have been an amazing NFT marketplace tutorial. Let's make a proper NFT marketplace. 100% I will be doing that. 100% we're going to make a proper NFT marketplace. I'm already friends with Ivan. We've actually been speaking. So I'm going to speak to him, get in touch, and we're going to do that. I'll maybe ask him to collab with me as well while we build it. That would be so damn cool. Let me know if you'd buy a Papa Fam NFT. Right? If you do, oh my god, 100% I am down, right? Smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying this right now. That is awesome, man. Rogers, that is actually GitHub Copilot, right? So what we're going to now do is say messages dot, right? And what we can do here is we can save, and what this does is it's going to save it into the database inside of the messages table, right? Because we've defined that structure. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save some information inside there. Now I'm going to go ahead and save the message itself, which is the message that we have, right? I'm going to save the username of the user who sent the message. Now I can get this by saying user.getUsername, right? And then I'm going to get the Ethereum address. Okay, so the Ethereum address. In this case, we can use the, I think that's actually a function. Yeah, get Ethereum. No, it's not a function. I don't think it is. It's very similar to that, but I don't think there is one, right? So you can say get, and then what we're actually going to do here is I want to store the Ethereum address. And the reason being is I'm going to use that as a way to check if you sent it before or not. Hey, we have the Papa Fam anthem in the house. That is awesome, man. Steve McCarty says, how's the Tesla? Tesla's doing great, dude. In fact, I'm in Dubai right now and Jay's got a Tesla. So it's like literally coming in I left my house in a Tesla, airport, flew over to Dubai, and then I'm in Jay's Tesla. So it's so much fun, right? So we've got the Ethereum address over here as well. So we've got the user's username, the user's Ethereum address. And then once we go ahead and save it, it's a promise, okay? So this means we have a then that kicks off afterwards. So if you do want to do something with the then afterwards, you can go ahead and do it at this point, right? So this would give you the message back, and you can go ahead and do something with the message, right? But this is basically an indicator that the message was sent. Now, I'm not too fussed with really what's going to happen afterwards. In fact, all I want to do is go ahead and actually catch an error. So in this case, what we can do is we can actually chain in a error, which comes back in a slightly different way to what we're used to. It's actually going to come back as an error like so. Right, so we're going to say message, and if there is an error, we're going to go ahead and say the save failed and show an error, right? Console log the error. But at this point, you can actually go ahead and do something a bit more cool. You can say message sent successfully, but you may not want to go ahead and have it kind of, be a bit crazy up in there, right? Now you can, yes, Peter, you can use async await. Right, so if you want to use async await, go for it. Again, I do this just to show you guys different ways of doing things. Now, when I type in and send a message, I want it to scroll to the bottom of the messages, right? So the way I do that is I go back to my messages, and I now need to basically have a reference to the end of the messages. So where it says you're up to date, Papa Fam, I'm going to create a reference there, and I'm going to call it end of messages reference. Right, end of messages reference, and this is basically a big pointer that I'm going to basically go ahead and say scroll to that. Right, Gunjan Raj has wanted this tutorial so hard. You are amazing. Thank you, dude. You're incredible for supporting the Papa Fam. That's awesome, man. So what we're going to do is create a reference. So I'll say const end of messages ref equals use ref, and we give it an initial value of no. Oops. And then what we can do here is go ahead and say control spacebar, and like so, right? So this is going really awesome, guys. We've got a reference. We've gone ahead and connected it to the end of messages message. So what we're now going to do is, where I've got the send message function, I'm going to pass that reference through, right, as a prop. So I'm actually going to pass my reference through, so that way I can access it inside of send messages. So here it comes through the props. We can use the ES6 destructuring to break apart the props object, get the end of messages ref inside of it. And what I want to do is when I send a message, I actually want to go ahead and scroll the user in a certain way. The way I do that is after the message is sent, after it all here, I'm going to go ahead and say end of messages dot current dot current, and that basically goes to the current thing that it's pointing at, which is that end of messages. And I'm going to say scroll into view. And it's a very handy function that we can use. And what you can do here is you can pass in a nice little additional attribute called behavior smooth. And what that will do is as I send the message, it will just scroll down nicely. As I keep tapping the messages, it scrolls down with me. That's really nice as a user experience, right? So there we go. And the final thing I want to do is go ahead and reset what's inside of here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Say set the message to be empty. Right, there we go. Now let's go ahead and test this, Papa fam. So what I'm going to do is open up my table right now. Go ahead and I'll do half and half. Hit refresh, hit refresh. As you can see in my database, I don't have any messages right now. I am signed in as a user, but here I'm going to say, hey guys, what is up? Hit enter now. And as you can see, if I refresh my database, we will now have a messages table, which has a new message inside of it. And it has an object ID. It has a message, hey guys, what is up? And we have the username of the person who sent it. And we have the Ethereum address. Now, the reason why I saved the Ethereum address is because your Ethereum address will never change. You cannot change it once you have it. You can only get a new wallet, but your username can change. So we're going to use the Ethereum address as your ID to be able to determine if you're the sender or the receiver in just a sec. Okay, hope that's clear. So in this case, it's looking really good. I think we're going at a pretty good pace. All right, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and pop that back over there. Pop this in like so. And I love this song so much, honestly, it's so sick. And guys, you guys just keep coming in. Honestly, this is awesome. Smash the thumbs up button. Again, sign up to the final day if you haven't already. And I want to remind you, you have a day to finish this homework as well, right? I'm just going to throw that in there. Day 4 is a nice community day break, so you guys can go ahead and get this homework done. Jay just dropped the link in the description. Make sure you check it out. So at this point, we've got the actual functionality of the messages working, so we can actually begin to pull in the messages. So I'm going to go over to my messages right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and start prepping this out. So we can use something really nice called use Moralis query from React Moralis. And what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and actually use it. Now, if you want to see the documentation, feel free to go to the React Moralis docs by Googling it. You guys can see it over there. So we're going to go ahead and use this. And what you can do here is you get the 3 objects back, right? Or 3 items back. You get the data, you get a loading state, and you get an error state. And the way you use it is you say use Moralis query. Now inside of use Moralis query, what you do is you target a field. So what I'm going to say here is target the messages. Now be careful, guys, this is case sensitive. As you can see here, it's a capital M. That should be capital as well. So what I'd recommend is you store it in a constant and then you share the constant around. I'm not going to show you today, but you can easily do that with a variable and share it around, okay? Now that's the first thing. The second thing is we get the query, right? Now the query is essentially going to basically allow us to have any kind of filter or any kind of sorting mechanism that we want when we're fetching the data. So what I can do is I can say, okay, query, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say query, I'm going to do add ascending, sorry, was this query dot ascending, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do it by created at, right, created at, and as you can see here, we automatically get a created at timestamp. So I'm going to go ahead and sort it by ascending order. You can see created ascending is now going to be sorted, and then I'm also going to do something pretty interesting, right? So this can go 2 ways, right? I want to create a chat app, and you guys don't have to have this, by the way, but I want to create a chat app where it's going to go ahead and say something like it's only going to show the last 15 minutes duration, right? So, or it could be like the last half an hour worth of chat. I don't want to show the last like couple of days ago, right? I want to show up to very frequent stuff. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and put it over here. So this is actually going to be our constant, which says only show messages which in the last 15 minutes. So we're going to have this nice little handy thing saying mins of duration, and it's going to be 15 at the moment. Now the way we can go ahead and do this is we can say dot query for greater than messages, right? Where created at, right, is, oh sorry, I haven't actually got my on. There we go. All right. So at this point, what I want to do is, I forgot to show you guys that. So we've got here only show messages from the last 15 minutes, and we've got a constant min duration. What's up, King David? All right. So we've got min duration is 15. There we go. Sorry guys for that. All right. So this is going to go ahead and show the messages for the last 15 minutes. What we do is we go ahead and query for it. So I'm going to go ahead and say only show the messages which are greater than, and the field that we're going to query on is created at. Right, and the second argument we given is the value that we want to go ahead and compare against. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say go ahead and create a new date, and I'm going to use something like this. I'm going to say get the date dot now, right, minus 1000 to get the milliseconds, times it by 60 to go ahead and get, I forgot what the actual thing we're calculating is, but the point is do this, right? And what this does is basically this will go ahead and get, this is the date from now, like 15 minutes before. So what I'm saying is if the created at is greater than 15 minutes ago, don't show it, right? So only show us things which are less than 15 minutes ago. So only show the chat for the last 15 minutes, right? So that should be pretty good, right? At this point, it looks really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and chuck in some water. Amazing stuff, guys. We got Nigeria in the house. What's up, dude? So we've got greater than, created at, and awesome stuff. And as you can see, I've done it in a nice way. So all you have to do is tamper with that. It will change the value, right? And the final thing we now need to do is after this created at, we're going to do a comma for the next argument. You can see dependencies. Well, in this case, we don't have any dependencies, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do a comma there. And the final thing is very cool. We got the options. Now, what's really nice about this React Moralis is we can pass in an attribute called live, and we can say it's true. What this does is it gives me a real-time listener for this information. So if I hit save now, this is a real-time listener, very similar to how we do it in Firebase, whereby it's going to be going ahead and pulling in the messages in a real-time fashion. Right? Eng Wafula says, yo Papa Fam, congrats for the Tesla car. We are tuned in from Uganda. What's going on, man? Usman says quality content. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Destroy that thumbs up button if you're enjoying this right now. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show you right now that this actually pulls in some data. So if I do console log data and we go to our app, do a command F12, right? So now you can see we get the array pull through. Now, as you can see, this has an array of 0 at the moment. It's got some messages with attributes, and you can say, hey guys, what is up? And if I go ahead and say, yo, what's going on, Papa Fam? Right, hit enter. Now what we see is a second message comes in, the real-time listener, and we can see here that if we got attributes, you can see, yo, what's going on, Papa Fam? And that is underneath because that's the order that we wanted. You can see my Ethereum address again. Feel free to send some shit there. It's all good. All right, but you can see we've got all of this stuff coming through now. So we've got our messages. We now need to show it on the screen. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, Free Code Camp. Appreciate it, dude. So at this point, what we're now going to do is we're going to go ahead and show that stuff on the screen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is for the messages here, I've got a div already which says each message. So inside of this div now I'm going to say data.map, right? So data.map, and this allows me to go ahead and show things up on the screen. So we'll say go for every message that comes back. So the one that I just showed you, I want to do a return. Now remember, this is the bit where people go wrong. Do parentheses here, which means a direct return, and I'm going to go ahead and return a message component. Now, each time you do a map, you should have a key. This is how React understands that I don't need to re-render every item on that list, so the messages. I'll need to change the one which has a different key that came in. So what we do is we make the key, it's going to be the message.id. That's going to be each individual message got its own ID. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pass the entire message through as a prop, and we're going to access it inside this component. We don't have a message component. So if I hit save, it's going to break. I'm going to go ahead and create a message component right now. We're doing amazing for time, guys. Underscore RFCE to go ahead and pop this in. Command B to put it there. H1 say I am a message. Hit save, right? I'm going to import this in over here. We've got Siri kind of flying in. There you go. Go away. Right, and I'm going to do there we go, import it from message, hit save, and now you can see I am a message pops in. Now I want to obviously go ahead and make this the actual content. Thank you, Alexander. He goes, the best mentor in the world. I appreciate you, man. That is my goal, and I really do love hearing that. Thank you so much, man. So I'm going to go ahead and customize these to look like these beautiful messages over here, but right now I want to go ahead and firstly have some spacing between them, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add a class name. here, and the class name is going to be spacing the Y components inside the children a value of 10. And as you can see, they get a bit of spacing. I'm going to give a padding of 4 around the entire container as well. That way it gets a nice bit of spacing. There you go. Looks really nice, right? So at this point, Siri wants to be in the live stream as well. Honestly, I know, man. This seems to be jumping in. So at this point, let's click on message. And what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and pull out the message from the props. So props are here. We destructure, we get the message, right? So this comes through as so. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually pull in Moralis, because we're going to be using Moralis now to get the user. So I'm going to go ahead and get the user's information beforehand. And we're going to use this to determine if the user sent that sent that message or not, right? I love this. Steve McCarty, he says, Sunny is training my future developers. If you don't know Steve and you've been watching the channel by now, he owns the company, he's hiring devs. Interesting stuff, right? So it's awesome to see who's watching this stuff. But we got the user pulling in over on the message. Now what I want to first do is actually go ahead and just show a message, right? So rather than an H1, I'm going to change it to a P tag. I'm just going to go ahead and simply say message .get, and remember this is a Moralis object, that's why I can use this get function. I'm going to say get the actually what we can do here is I need to go ahead and say get message, right? This will be get message, hit save, and look at that, guys, we've already got the chat flying in, which is awesome, really nice. Lo-Fi Dream says, what is the Moralis? Moralis is an awesome Web3 platform. I would definitely recommend checking out the Moralis YouTube channel if you want to go ahead and do it. Moralis.io is the name. Oh, what is up? Baha comes in clutch with a massive £100 donation. He goes, hello, learn folks. We need more great devs in Clouch. Jay there? Yeah, he is there. He says hello to Jay. Yeah, man, we need more devs over at Clouch. Clouch is an awesome Web3 Twitter-like platform. I'm telling you guys, it's going to blow up. Literally got over 20,000 new users in like 2 days. And 5,000 of you joined the Papa Fam group. I created that group a few days ago when it had like 100 members in. And I can't tell you enough, it exploded. So amazing stuff. Third link in the description. Join up at Clouch. Use that MetaMask wallet that we set up to go ahead and sign up. And join us, guys. It's a party over there. We're actually dealing with scalability because it's so fast, the growth. It's amazing to see how much energy you guys have. If you're a crypto head or anything like that, smash that link in the description and join us at Clouch, right? So at this point, we got the P tag, which is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead. What? 36,000 users now. 200 messages a minute. Oh my God, Jay. What is, oh my God, that is mad. That is incredible, guys. Holy, there's a power of the Papa Fam. Oh my God. And honestly, credit to Clouch. It is a amazing platform. I know that because our own Papa Fam developers built it. Right, so we're trying to go ahead and show you guys that anything is possible here. Amazing stuff. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and have some variable which tells me if it's the user's message or if it was someone else that sent it. So the way I do it is I'm going to create a variable called isUserMessage. Right, so this can basically tell me if it's my message or if it's someone else's. So I'm going to say message.get the username. Right, so I'm going to get the username. And then I'm also going to go ahead and say if that is equal, oh sorry, I'm not going to do a username, so I'm going to do the Ethereum address, right? Get the Ethereum address. If that is equal to the user.get the Ethereum address, then it's going to be true, right? So if this is the same as the message address, then we know that it's going to be that you sent that message, because your Ethereum address will never change. It'll be the same address that your message will have. This is a perfect way of identifying if it is our message. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to surround the message itself in a div. Right, so over here, I'm going to surround the message in a div. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to apply some classes, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say it's a flex box. I'm going to say it's a space of x of 4 and a padding on the x-axis, space x of 4, padding on the x-axis of 3, padding on the y-axis of 3, which means we can just do a padding of 3. And then we're going to say rounded LG. Right, and this is already looking a bit decent. We've got the P tag over here, which we're not going to style right now, but I'm going to go ahead and say the following. So I'm actually going to make this curly brackets and change it to string interpolation. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a custom ternary operator. I'm going to say if it's a user message, right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say that the following style should get applied. We're going to say it's rounded border right of none, which will give it a nice kind of, you see on the right hand side, the border right bottom is not cornered. And that basically seems like a bit of a speech bubble. So we're going to go and say bottom right none. And then I'm going to say background should be pink of 300 if it's your message. And if it's not your message, so if else is basically what's happening here. We'll say the opposite. We'll say rounded, border left none with a background of blue, right? Background blue, and I'm going to say 400. Now you can see these are my messages, hence why it's coming in with the pink, and you can see it would be coming from the right hand side. Looks really, really nice, right? Nice stuff. Right, so let's go ahead and check this out. Right, so at this point, let's go ahead and check this out. I'm confused. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and we've got the P tag there. Then we're going to go ahead and now we don't want it to kind of be this max width, right? We're going to go to the div at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and say class name equals. I'm going to do a string interpolation here because I want to do some cool stuff. I want to say flex items end. Oops, flex items end. And as you can see already, that cuts the string, right? And what we're going to say is space between these components should be an x of 2 because I'm going to have a few images and things like that in there, and it should be relative as I'm going to have some absolutely positioned items in there. Now I'm going to do a sort of optional if this is there, apply this style, and that's going to say if there is a user message, if it's your message, then I'm going to only do an if, not an else. That's why we've got the and. I'm going to say justify end, and what that does is it pushes it to the side if it's my message. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. We're getting very close to the point that we need, right? Thank you so much, Bara. He goes, gonna go check if they buy the 20-day pre-sale. Oh yes, guys, I forgot to mention, if you're a crypto head and you want to go ahead and check it out, make sure you check out the guys over at Clouch right now. I'm gonna shout this one out because it's huge. It's an opportunity for you all. Check out, they have a massive Clouch pre-sale going on right now, December 16th. It's huge. Make sure you check it out. December 17th today, but they're actually going on. Presale.clouch.com. Go ahead and jump in. That's gonna be your first crypto experience. Make sure you check it out. Thank you, Michael. I'm gonna check that error that I just made right now. Appreciate that, dude. So yeah, it's space x of 2. Let's go ahead and see space. There we go. Space x of 2. Thank you. Right, so at this point we've got it looking pretty nice, right? Pretty close. We want the avatar now, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the avatar above this div, right? So I've got this here. I'm gonna go ahead and say a div, and remember we created that avatar, right? So at this point I've got the avatar that I can pull in, reusable components for the win, and at this point it's gonna do that, right? That's not what we want, is it? Yeah. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pass in the username. Now this is, remember I said if you pass in the username, it will show the avatar for that user. So what I'm going to do here is I want to say message.get username, and that's going to basically work for that user. In this case, we are the sender, hence why it comes in. And for this one, I'm going to say class name height and width of 8. I'm going to make it relative because remember that avatar is using layout fill. So relative height of 8, width of 8. Width of 8. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, there we go, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do a nice little ternary operator here, or it's going to be an optional. So let's go ahead and pop this in like so. And I'm going to say, okay, if, right, it's the user's message, if it's the user message, I'm then going to go ahead and apply the following. Now, this is basically like a flexbox rule, but you can do something called order. And what I'm going to say is if it's your message, then it should be at the front. So it should be order.last, which will basically pop it to the other side of the component, right? So you can see there it goes into the other side. It's because it becomes the order last. Even though this is present beforehand, you can rearrange the order with order in Flexbox, right? That's how we do that. It's very handy to do that. ML2 gives it a margin left, so it's going to go ahead and only apply that little gap. And now it looks like, look, Guilfoyle is sending a message. Papa React is sending it out. Nice, right? This is good. This is very good. Now the final thing we need is it to say Papa React to the bottom and the timestamp. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to have underneath this div, I'm going to have the timestamp, so a time ago stamp, right? And then we're going to go ahead and have underneath that a p tag, which is going to have the username. So here I'll say message.get username. Right, that's going to be awesome. And you can see it says Papa React. And what I'm actually going to do there is style it up. I'm going to say class name equals absolute positioning, right? I'm going to say a minus bottom of 5. Remember, we're relative to the container, hence why it's not going to fly off. Absolute minus bottom 5. Text should be extra small, right? And then again, I'm going to do ternary operator. So we're going to go ahead and pop this in. I always forget ternary, tertiary. I don't care, but that, you know what we're doing, right? So say is user message. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, if it is your user message, make it the text pink, right? So text pink 300. Otherwise, we're going to go with text blue 400. All right, now you can see, nice, we get that. And I will show you guys in just a sec how to go ahead and test this one, right? So if you actually want to test it, you can actually sort of force this to be in the right state, right? So the way I do it is I do Command Shift N to open up incognito. And then what you would have to do here, guys, is go ahead and actually prep it so that you can have your MetaMask extension. So you'd have to go to your settings and enable the MetaMask extension for incognito. So make sure you do that. And now what I'm going to do is change my address over on this browser to a separate address. And it's very easy to create a second wallet. You just go into here, create another wallet, and it will do it for you. And then we go over to localhost. And you can see I won't be logged in the incognito browser. I'm going to log into the separate wallet. So it's a different dev account. I'm going to sign in. And as you can see here, I'm a different user now. And look how it's on the other side now. So if I change the username here, and let's imagine this was Jay. Right, so I'm going to say Jay over here. So Jay's on the left. Jay, I'm sorry, you got earrings, dude. Look, Jay's got some pretty cool earrings. All right. So in this case, you got Papa React on the right. And then if I go, hey, what's up, Sonny? So what's up, Sonny? Hit save. You can see, look at that, we've got a chat going on. This is dope. Really nicely working, and we have this chat flow. So if I'm Papa React, it's on the right. On his side, it's the opposite, right? Looking pretty cool. So at this point, what we're going to do is have the timestamp as well, right? So that looks nice. That's how you test it, right? I thought I'd show you guys how you can do it. So the timestamp, what we're going to use is time ago, right? So we're going to use a library called time ago, which is time ago React. So guys, I'll show you guys this library. So if you go to time ago React, you can see it's an npm module. So you guys can feel free to check out their GitHub as well. Command J to open up our terminal. Split the terminal is what I like to do. If you look into the documentation, you do an npm install time ago React. So I'm going to install that into our terminal to bring it into the project. And they've got a use case. Now I'm going to show you how to use it, so do not worry. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All right, so at this point, what we do is we're going to import it from the top of the file. Like so. So I'm going to pop it in at the top over here. Bam, like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the following. So Command J, hide my terminal. It's where we have the comment. I'm going to say time ago, like so. And then as the argument here, I'm going to go ahead and say date time equals message dot created at, which is an attribute on the message. Now, as you can see, it says 21 minutes ago or 1 minute ago. It automatically starts kicking in, all right? Pratham says, will this video be updated on YouTube afterwards? Yes, dude. Every video I do is going to be uploaded on YouTube, so make sure you tune in, enjoy it, all right? Time ago, I'm going to go ahead and style this now, so oops, don't do that. We're going to go ahead and say class name equals, and we're going to go ahead and do backticks. So I want to go ahead and do some string interpolation here. So I'm going to say this should be text. Oops, not text. And because we're using Tailwind version 3, we have something called the just-in-time compiler. So we can pass in custom values. So I'm going to make it super small with 10 pixels. And that makes it very, very small. You can see it changed over there. And then I'm going to go ahead and say italic, right? And I'm going to make it gray. So text gray of 400 should be good. And then what I want to do is I want to actually change it. So if it's the user message, right? If it's the user message, then what I want to do is go ahead and apply that order last trick that I did last time. So order last, and then I'll say it should be padding right of 1 as well. Now you can see what is happening here, right? So if we did this, oh, actually I messed that up. I've done if it's the user message, order first, order first. You see, I done it the wrong way. Order first, pops it the other way. There we go. Look at that, guys. It looks really beautiful. We have this working on both sides. So if I was to send a message now saying hi there, so hi Jay, and hit this, enter, you can see it moved down as well. Look at this, look, hello world, look, hello world, enter, bam, it's even moved down with me. So looking really, really good. Aiden says, Sonny, much love. Just wanted to let you know if the sound lags when you switch between cameras, it goes silent for a second. Okay, thank you, dude. Appreciate you telling me that. All right, so you guys can see, look at this, it works so nice. Right? And this will work with as many users as you want, right? You guys can deploy it, test this out, have a bunch of fun, and test it with your friends, get them to come to your website, do what you need to do, right? This is looking really, really clean. Now at this point, I think we are literally done. I think I surprised myself there. I think we're actually done. So if I go ahead and refresh, look at this. Amazing. Yeah, we're actually done. Wow. Okay, sick. So I want to show you guys where I added in that padding. Remember I added in that padding in the beginning. So if I go up to the top, right, I added in this random padding that you might have thought, why is he adding that here? And the reason being is because when I scroll down, I want to have an extra bit of gap at the bottom. You see this? I don't want it to be stuck to the bottom, in which case you're going to be fixed and it's going to be very hard to see. So we give that additional padding to allow for that scrollability aspect. So overall, that is pretty damn cool, right? Smash that thumbs up button if you're enjoying this so far, right? You guys are absolutely been incredible. At this point, what you will now do is deploy this app. So we've already connected it to Vercel. If you did yesterday's video, you would have pushed it to a GitHub and you would have gone ahead and deployed it with Vercel. Now to easily re-trigger the deployment, what we can now do is simply push to GitHub. So I'm going to show you this in live action. So I'm going to go over to Vercel. I'm actually going to open up my YouTube sort of version that's deployed right now. So this is the one that I deployed yesterday. So if I sign it, you'll see it's the old version, okay? So if I go back now, oops, not that one. Right, if I go here now, I'm logged into this old version. So what I'm going to do is go to my Vercel, right? So let's go to dashboard, vercel.com. And then I'm going to, is MetaMask safe? Yes, it is safe, yeah? So I'm going to go ahead and go into this right here. And you can see the last deployment was a while back, right? So if we go ahead and see deployments, you guys can see that it was about, you know, it was a while back, 24 hours ago by Sunny Sango. Wow, literally 24 hours ago, right? So at this point, Command J, and if I see the changes here, we've got quite a bunch of changes here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes. So if I do my full screen, I can show you. So we do git status, and you can see I haven't added in the files to be committed yet. So I say git add all. And this will go ahead and add all the files in. If I do get status now, you see they're all green. That means they're ready to commit. And then, oh, oops, sorry guys, I've done it again, right? So what I did there is I'll go ahead and I'll undo this and I'll show you again. So if I go ahead and unstage my files, right? So back to the beginning, what I was saying, if I do git status, right, you'll see they're red, right? So if I do git add all and git status again, now you see they're green. That means that we've now gone ahead and added that to the commit, right? So at this point, if I do git commit -m, thank you so much, Jatin. Appreciate the donation, dude. Awesome stuff. We're gonna commit and we're gonna say chat functionality complete, right? Hit enter, and now it's pushed it into it. I'm gonna say git push to go ahead and push it to my GitHub repo. Now, pay attention, look at my Vercel. If I go ahead and hit the refresh button, it's gonna go ahead and pick up that new deployment, and look what it's doing. It's literally a pipeline. It's gonna now go ahead and build that application and deploy it. So we have it open here right now. This is the old one, but watch when it deploys, it will literally go ahead and deploy this app. So go to overviews, you should have the same domain, so you should be able to resubmit your homework in the same fashion, right? So if we go back over here, we should be able to see in deployments that this will be built in just a second, right? Now, once you've done that, I'm going to show you how you submit your homework once again to go ahead and get a nice reminder of your homework. Let me quickly go ahead and get this up on the screen right now. So homework is challenge day 3, right? So once you've done that, I'm going to show you how you do it. Then you'll need to come to your day 3 homework submission. Again, all the links are going to be on Facebook. They're going to be in the description as well. Oh, nice. Modeled Ranger goes, I'm dedicated to be a helper on your Discord. That's awesome, dude. His name is Marlboro Jamez. Appreciate that. That is awesome. That's what Papa Fan's about. Make sure you do all of the following. Register for the final day challenge. We have the Metaverse Web 3.0. You have to sign up there to be a part of that training, be a part of the prize fund. And then what I want you to do, full name, email, drop that deployed site link, okay? Make sure you do that. Let's check up on our build right now. It's now ready. Awesome. So if I go to my Metaverse app and I refresh, let's wait for it. It's going to be cached as well, right? So chances are, there we go. Hey, nice, dude. Look at that. Pulled in from our database. You guys can actually feel free to do it as well now, but I'm going to be careful with how much I show on the screen, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat right now. And you guys can feel free to head over there, log in and sort of chat. Look at that, Elon Musk. Hello, YouTube. What's up, man? That is awesome. We're going to go ahead and see who pops in. We're going to leave it up for a little bit longer and we're going to see what everyone's saying. But Elon Musk is in the chat, apparently. That is pretty cool. And you can see he's got their own little custom avatar URL. And we'll see who pops into that chat first and gets in there, right? But guys, yeah, once you've done this, it's Frank. What's up, dude? Look how cool that is, man. It's working. It's using Web3 tech. Elon Musk says, I love the Metaverse. I'm going to say, what's up, dude? Hey, dude. Hey, dude. There you go. And look at that. We've got a full-on chat happening right now. This is so cool, guys. Honestly, really want to see this explode with your homework. I'm excited to go ahead and see what you guys do with this build and how far you take it. There we go. Everyone's running in. Sonny, you're a legend. Hey, what's up, legend? That's what I'm talking about, guys. And how crazy, right? This is the power of Web3. Did you guys have to do any crazy install? No. You just clicked login, your wallet popped up, and bam, you are in. You could change your username. You could use the application. The power of Web3 is coming. It is here. NFTs, all this incredible stuff. Moralis is your gateway into the Web3 world. This is why I put such an emphasis on this challenge. Your main task now is to go ahead and improve, deliver the same homework that we just built today, be a part of these amazing legends here that right now, Elon Musk, Johannes, we've got this username here that hasn't changed yet, E-Ray, incredible stuff, right? I want you guys to build it. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Submit your homework, submit the final day registration, make sure you are there. And guys, tomorrow is a break day. It's going to be a day where you need to be a part of Facebook and Discord. If you get stuck, contribute. Let people know that tomorrow is a rest day. It's a day where you guys can build this app, customize it, get your best chance of winning everything. But the next thing that we're going to be doing is in 2 days time, right? So right now the day is 17th of December. It's going to be the 19th of December that we do the final big day challenge, where we go ahead and drop the biggest training we have ever done in this challenge, which teaches you how to go ahead and take your skills and level them up for the year 2022. So if you're excited about this, guys, get hyped. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to dive into the world of Web3, and we're going to have a party in Decentraland if we have time, and we're going to run around in the metaverse. This has been your boy Papa React. I'm going to go ahead and sign off the way we love to do it. I'm going to go ahead and drop the music up a little bit. And yeah, guys, on that note, let me know what your favorite part about this build was. And yeah, it's been your boy, and I'll see you on day 5 of the React.JS Metaverse Challenge. We've got Law says this was amazing content. Mridul says from Bangladesh watching, love it. Hillary, great work. Sunny, Steve McCarty, another great stream. If you want, I will join your Discord. 100%, dude. Jump in. We've got Easy Way Out Coding says good day, incredible stuff. YZ says I can't look about. Okay, that's fine. Aman Jawani says yo, what's up? Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been your boy Papa React. I will see you all on day 5. With that said, I'm going to leave you with the build over here. Good luck with your homework. Peace.